Right guys, Edshed. Now, as we're all aware, all our enthusiasts are aware about this fuel problem, and I just want to show you a fuel tank in a said car. That is the colour of the petrol I've just drained out. I don't know what colour you could think that was, but if you can appreciate, I don't know whether you can actually see here, try and show you down inside that tank. But inside these tanks, guys, they are corroding like hell. And it is purely this fuel turning to grease. Look at it in there. Not that you can see it, I'm afraid. But let's just imagine you can see it, guys. It is absolutely horrendous. I mean, this is E5 fuel that's been stirred. So I dread to think what some of my cars look like. I mean, just look at the colour of that fuel. That is, I mean, it did run on that, but you know, when you think fuel is supposed to be clear, as you can see by that one, we are going to try and blow some fuel around the tank to see if we can clean it off a bit. But obviously that's not factory, that bit there. And I know when I say we're going to take the tank out, yeah, I'm not crawling around underneath it, so not on the mud anyway. So this is just purely to get a turd running, and as you can see, it's fighting me. Now I'm going to say, guys, if you look in that tank, there is gum stuck all over the top of it. Everywhere the condensation forms, there is what you can only describe as like treacle. And this is E5 fuels. Now, if E10s are as bad as this, which is going to be, E5's not good. I mean, it's going stale in what, 2 months? So, if you keep your tank full of fuel, you're going to have the problem. If you empty your tank, I think you're going to have the problem. I personally think we've got a real issue here, and I don't know whether it's going to get any better. I think, sadly, our hobby, guys, is destined to, well, be gummed out of existence by this fuel problem. And I think if this is what I'm having, somebody somewhere must have an idea. Somebody's got to have an idea. I mean, we've had a few ideas what you could and couldn't do as to try and stop this condensation problem in the tanks. But it means redesigning all the fuel tanks. It means somebody's out there's got to make some PVC or plastic tanks, and they've got to put some sort of vent canister to absorb the condensation into the top of them, which is a complete radical redesign of all the fuel tanks, which possibly leaves it wide open for all sorts of problems with public liability and insurance dramas. So, from that respect, I don't think maybe that's a pipe dream. But guys, I think sadly, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether you keep the cars empty, whether you keep cars full. If you've only got one car, guys, then you're lucky. I mean, unfortunately, when I see that, the Mark II was the same, now that 40. I mean, I dread to think what some of the other cars are like. I just don't know what to say. Yeah, there must be some genius out there, some genius that must know how you could put some sort of moisture-absorbing canister into the top of your filters like a retrofit, and that might help with some of it. But ultimately, we've got to get this ethanol out of the fuel. I think the fuel's got to take the ethanol out, which absorbs the moisture, which, you know, then it'll alleviate the problem slightly. But we have got an issue, guys. And as I said, if you got one car, it's bad. If you got 90 odd, then yeah, I think it's over basically. Anyway, like I say, guys, that's just a rant for the fuel problem, because as I said, stale fuel gives me a headache. I'm going to rechange this pipe in the tank. I don't know whether it'll work. We're going to give it a go. I'm going to alter it slightly. Try a new idea. And if it works, it works. If not, well, I'll move it away from everything, so when it bursts into flames, it's nowhere near me. But for the minute, guys, I'm going to turn you off there and say to be continued. Let's see what happens. If we get there, we get there. If we don't, well, doesn't matter anyway, does it? Talk to you soon, guys. Bye for now.